Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyid al-Mursaleen. All praises to Allah. We send peace and salutations upon Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's time for the daily reminder. And today in the daily reminder, inshallah, 5 places in your house that are preferable to shaitan. 5 places in your house that normally shayateen, Satans like to stay in these places. So be aware of those places and be aware of the hadith, the statements of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam concerning these places and what to do in order to prevent shayateen, Satans from getting into these 5 places. The first one, الفراش الذي لا ينام عليه, the bed which he stays for a long time and no one sleeping on it. 5 places in your house shayateen prefer to stay in. So the first one is that sometimes in our houses we have few rooms. So some room, the first bedroom, maybe you and your wife, the second bedroom, maybe you and your children. And then there is a third bedroom that no one sleeps in there, but there are some beds there, but no one sleeps in there for a long time. So be aware of that, because these places where no one's sleeping in for a long time, shaitan prefer that place. The hadith, the narration, the reference to that. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فراش للرجل وفراش لأهله وفراش للضيف والرابع للشيطان. He says some beds for you and some beds for your family and some beds for the guests, referring to some bedroom for the guests if there are guests, and the fourth one is for shaitan, meaning that if there is other places in your house where there is no one sleeping for a long time, no one is using this room for a long time, normally shayateen comes to these deserted places or to these places where no one is sleeping on. So what to do in such situation like that? In such situation like that, you should actually recite Quran there in that room. Use this room from time to time. Use this room. Let someone sleep in that room. Right? Also doing the ruqya in that room. This is to protect that place. And if you're closing the door, opening the door, entering that place, coming out from that place, and you're reciting your adhkar and reciting your Quran, then you're protecting your house from shayateen staying in that place. Now coming to the second one, or the second place. The second place is al-hammam. Al-hammam referring to basically the place where you are passing water, urine, etc. Toilet, referring to the toilet, or open places, because in the past people used to go to al-khala. So al-khala refers to the open desert and referring to places where people used to head to in the past in order to pass water or urine, etc. Right? So these places, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that shayateen prefer to stay in these places. So the toilet. So we are taught to protect yourself from shayateen there in the toilet, which is preferable to shaitan to stay in, is to say أعوذ بك من الخبث والخبائث. When you enter the place, you should say أعوذ بك من الخبث والخبائث. I seek the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from jinn. Khubth wal khaba'ith refers to jinn, and some mufassirin said that khubth refers to the male jinn, khaba'ith refers to the female jinn. Some said no, khubth is referring to some kind of jinn and khaba'ith is referring to some other kind of jinn. In any way, it is jinnat. Seeking the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the khaba'ith, from khubth and khaba'ith whenever you are entering the toilet. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم, and the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, إن هذه الحشوش محتضرة فإذا أتى أحدكم الخلاء فليقل أعوذ بالله من الخبث والخبائث. He said, these areas or these places for qada al-haja, when you are urinating or defecating, normally these places are places of shayateen, where shayateen stays there. So whenever you're entering these places, you should say أعوذ بالله من الخبث والخبائث or أعوذ بك من الخبث والخبائث. I seek protection of Allah from khubth and from khaba'ith. Now number 3, places where shayateen prefer to stay in. الثياب المعلقة. What is that? The clothes that are hanged for a long time. Many people may be hearing this for the first time. Clothes that are hanged for a long time and maybe you're not using them for a long time. Shayateen prefer to stay in that place or to تلبس هذا الرداء. The shayateen will go into that clothes. The narration, the Prophet ﷺ also spoke about that. اطوا ثيابكم ترجع إليها أرواحها فإن الشيطان إذا وجد ثوبا مطويا لم يلبسه وإذا وجده منشورا لبسه. He says that you should not hang it for a long time without using them, and if you're going to hang it for a long time, then better to tatwi. Tatwi means to fold it. Fold the clothes better than to hang it. To fold the clothes better than to hang it. If you fold it, inshallah, one day you're going to use it. But shaitan won't be able to use them. Shaitan won't be able to use them. Right. The next one, number 4. التماثيل المجسمة. What is that? Basically, some people, they get what's called the monuments. They go to some places where they're selling these old monuments and from temples, etc., and they hang it in the house. You see, shaitan takes that shape or stays or presides within that form, and this is how it deceived so many people in the past, where it used to get into these tamathil, and then sometimes it would speak to the people. And sometimes the people go to that timthal whenever they used to have some pious people to create for them a timthal, like how it's happening today sometimes. So, oh, this was so pious person or so great personality. So they create a timthal for them, some kind of statues for them. And then later on, shayateen stays in that place, and that person comes to that place and says, yeah, he starts praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by that place, and then shaitan fulfill the needs of that person. And then that person again and again, and then they forget Allah and they start praying to the timthal, to the statue, and they end up worshipping those idols. They end up worshipping. This is how idolatry started. But shaitan stays in that place. Shaitan stays and presides within that timthal. So in such situations like that, what to do? Avoid having these tamathil in your house. Any surah, picture, referring to the pictures that can be mahsusa, yani can be touched with your hand. Don't hang it in the house, and don't keep it in the house. And in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, لا تدخل الملائكة بيتا فيه كلب ولا تماثيل. Malaika, angels, will not enter a house where there are dogs inside the house, or tamathil, referring to the statues. The malaika will not enter that place. So why do you deprive yourself from the attendance of the malaika? Why do you deprive yourself from the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the mercy of Allah azza wa jal? So Sheikh, some say, but Sheikh, I'm keeping a dog for protection, for guarding. I said outside. This is outside, not inside the house. This kalb is najas, and so whatever it licks, it's going to make it najas around you. It licks you, it licks the utensils around, etc. It makes it najas, impure. So rather, if you want to keep it for protection, for guarding, or kalbusaid, for hunting, or for specific reasons, then outside the house. But what about tamathil? Tamathil also, don't hang it inside the house. Right, what is number 5? Number 5 is مكان إشعال النار. The place of the mawqid, the place of the stoves, maybe the places of the, if there's some kind of, any place that you use for kindling fire. These places also, make sure that you switch off the fire before you sleep. أطفئوا ناركم. You say Bismillah, and you close the windows, you close the doors. Every time you close any window, any door, you should say Bismillah, because shaitan won't be able to open that door that has Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim there. Understand, ya ikhwa? So those are 5 places that we should understand, and we should try to make a lot of dhikr in these places. And if there's anyone who noticed anything, you notice, for example, that I notice sometimes something is moving. Some people think like, I notice, Sheikh, I heard some kind of sounds. Right? In that situation, what do? You make adhan. What do? You make adhan. Allahu Akbar. Similar to adhan for the prayer. Why? Shaitan, as soon as he hears the adhan, run away. Will leave the place. Whenever the shaitan hears the adhan, you run away out of the place. So basically make adhan. Generally, if you forgot, make any kind of dhikr. Recite Ayatul Kursi, for example. Shaitan can't stay in that house when you recite Ayatul Kursi. Or recite this word that's taught by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Allah, Allahu Rabbi, la ushriku bihi ahada, wa la ushriku bihi shay'a. Simple, very short, one sentence to say. Allahu Rabbi, la ushriku bihi shay'a. Allah is my Lord, I will not make any partners to Allah. Meaning that I won't fear anyone but Allah. So if you doubting that this place have shaitan, or you're fearing certain place, or it's dark, it's load shedding, and you're fearing anything, strengthen your heart by saying, Allahu Rabbi, la ushriku bihi shay'a. Allah is my Lord, and I will never fear anyone but Allah. So this will strengthen you. You are the servant of Allah. And remember, shaitan understands or sense your fear. Actually, some animals sense the fear of the human being. The dog can sense your fear from far. The wolf can sense your fear from far. They can sense it. They can smell your fear. And shaitan also smells your fear. So what if you did not show any kinds of fear? He will be fearful. What if you understood that this shaitan cannot appear to you in any way or in any form unless he will take the same characteristics of that form? For example, if shaitan took the form of a dog, or if the shaitan took the form of a snake, or if shaitan took the form of any kind of animal or a fly or whatever, then if you killed it, he's dead. Finished. Khalas. He took the form of any kind of a living being, then you defeat that living being, or you defeated that living being that is in front of you, it means you defeated that shaitan and will not come to life again. So shaitan realizing that, if he understood that, you understood that, and you're going to fight him, so he runs away, he doesn't stand for that. That's why he also fears you. And some said to one of the Sahaba, one of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "I'lam, you should understand that shaitan fears you similar like how you're fearing him. فَلَا تَكُنْ أَجْبَنَ السَّوَادَيْنِ. You mustn't be the most coward. Shaitan must be the coward one, not you the most coward. So be strong, strengthen your iman. Say, Allahu Rabbi, la ushriku bihi shay'a. Allah is my Lord, I will never make any partners to Allah. That's it for the daily reminder for today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the understanding and make us among al-alimin al-amilin al-mukhlasin. Allahumma ameen. Let us take a short break. We'll come back after the break, inshallah.